have found that a psoas release with this is actually more powerful and better. Dare I say it? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this underneath my shirt on my skin, and I'm going to lay down on it. I'm going to go on the inside of the hip bone, so as close to the side of the pelvis as I can. I'm literally just putting this inside of my pants, so it's touching my skin. The cool thing about this coregeous ball is that it is going to pull on the fascia. Okay, so if I'm laying here, this is my left leg is extended, and I'm going to take my right knee out to the side. If you started in the middle, it would be below your belly button, so I don't want it to be too high. We did something like this in the recovery workshop, but we were a little bit more focused on moving the transverse abdominals, right? And we were able to see how it helped our overhead flexion if that was in fact limited. So this is a little bit different. I'm literally going to go in the inside of the hip bone, and I'm going to lie down on my stomach. Maybe I feel my heartbeat there, totally normal. I don't want you moving. I don't want you rolling. I don't want you contracting and relaxing. I literally just want you relaxed. So the psoas, it actually attaches to the lumbar spine and crosses the hip. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend this left leg, because this is my left side. You don't have to do this, obviously, but if I grab onto my left leg, I can still be laying down here. And I want you to breathe here and hold. Watch if you're holding tension in your jaw as you're doing this. Then I want you to repeat and do the same thing on the right-hand side. I want you to pay attention. Which side feels tighter, different? What's the difference between the two sides? And I want you to think about that as you're doing that. So you're going to go all the way underneath your belly button, over to the right, straight down. And then you're going to take this left leg out to the side, and you're going to rest down on it. And again, when I talk about these breathing things, like 3 to 5 breaths is just not enough. So I would say for this one is literally like 20 breaths. Obviously, we're probably not going to do that today, but like maybe you do 10, and then if you can, and you liked the way that it felt on the left-hand side, you can come here, and then you're going to grab on, and you're going to come down again. And see what that feels like to just pull the heel towards the butt, as if you were doing a quad stretch. What you don't want to have happen is that the whole pelvis is like dumping forward and you're arching in your back, right? That just means you're a little too tight for this right now. So this could be helpful if you still aren't getting the concept of like hip extension before low back extension, maybe because your body isn't letting you go there. So what you can do is get up and walk around and see what that feels like after the fact. So like in Friday AC programming, we're doing like tempo one-legged hip thrusts, and you can just feel the pelvis be able to come into more hip extension from doing this, in my opinion. Did you guys notice anything from left to right, the difference for you?
My left leg is extremely pissed off at me, so it feels pretty good. And I can't grab my leg like I can on my other side.
So oftentimes that typical asymmetry, the left side of the pelvis is more forward. And some schools of thought, they'll think about it muscle in isolation, like that's the muscle's fault. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think like that anymore because it didn't really serve me well, like chasing after the psoas. But
right for me.
Right.
Yeah, I've been getting like a real pinch in the front of my hip, especially when like I'm doing my lunges and things, but I just tried a lunge then and I'm feeling fine. So
yay, good.
A few breaths.
Yeah, like what's interesting about it is I was always feeling on my left, like something was like blocking me. And I felt like I was like constantly pulling right all the time. And I would do psoas like quick with this and like, I don't know, just like a ton of other shit, but like sitting into it like that and then bending in the knee made a huge difference for me. So
I much prefer it with that ball as well.
Yeah, it's like you can actually relax into it. So let's say that's the psoas, and I said really like 20 breaths. If you can, then you can grab onto the bent knee in that position. Then think about this. If you cannot get a good exhalation, none of this shit's going to stick, right?